And joining us live on the broadcast is Siddhant Sibal himself, getting us the very latest from Stockholm. Siddhant, all eyes on the Indian Prime Minister's visit to Sweden. He is the first Indian leader to visit Sweden in the last 30 years. We also know that the Swedish Prime Minister will be personally welcoming his Indian counterpart at the airport. Take our viewers through what's expected and this special gesture that's being extended by the Swedish Prime Minister.
Well, it's 4:30 p.m. here. It's 8 p.m. there in India. And of course, the Indian Prime Minister will be landing here local time 9 p.m. And of course, focus will be on many things, including the big India-Nordic summit. Because remember, this is the first time that through such a format, India is engaging with European countries. It used to engage with Europe through the European Union, but it's changing tracks now. And of course, the second time in history that such a summit is happening. First time it happened in the tenure of the US President Barack Obama. But let me tell you about the Nordic countries. These countries are leaders when it comes to innovation, smart technology, something that can benefit India, because India has a lot of flagship programs, smart cities, Clean Ganga, Swachh Bharat, where these companies these companies and countries can, of course, help India a lot. We interviewed India's ambassador to Finland, Vani Rao, and she told us that how Finland is increasing its engagement. And of course, what our viewers should also know that these companies tucked away North Europe have played major role when it comes to politics, or maybe something as normal as Angry Birds, because Angry Birds is from a Finnish company. And a lot of Swedish companies such as Volvo, IKEA, they are household names in India. Swedish company Saab wants to go for Make in India program, Make in India defense program for India, and make the Griffin fighter jets in India. And the talks are currently on. The Ministry of Defense has asked for information on that. But by and large, other than business, there will be other things, because on Tuesday, that's the main day of engagement. The Prime Minister will be also addressing the Indian community there in Stockholm here. And of course, the business leaders here in Stockholm. Remember, this is after 3 decades, 30 years that any Indian Prime Minister is coming, and focus will be on increasing engagements. The bilaterals will happen with all the countries. There are 5 countries in the Nordic region: Iceland, Denmark, Sweden, Finland and Norway. And with Sweden, there have been high-level political engagements. The Prime Minister had telephonic conversations with his counterpart, who will be receiving him shortly at the airport, breaking the protocol. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be the first foreign leader who will be received by the Prime Minister of Sweden. So Prime Minister had telephonic conversation 4 times last year, and Sweden supports India's bid for the reformed United Nations Security Council and of course MTCR, NSG, and all these countries have been supporting India in various ways. And this is a new out-of-the-box thinking of the Indian foreign policy, and India is increasingly aligning its foreign policies with the domestic needs, such as the programs which I've already enumerated. And through the foreign policy, India is trying to increase its engagements for its own domestic needs. Remember, India is a growing power, and of course it needs more energy, and renewables is something that India is looking forward from these Nordic nations.
Indeed, focus on engagement and bolstering ties, among others. We're going to leave it there for the moment. Siddhant Sibal getting us the very latest from Stockholm. Anticipation, of course, is running high for the historic visit by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This visit coming after 30 years. Swedish Prime Minister, as Siddhant was just pointing out, will be breaking protocol and extending a personal welcome to his Indian counterpart.